Congratulations, soldiers. You have now completed boot camp. Campers, it is drill instructor Courtney, and we have reached the end of Boot Camp Readathon. I hope that you had an amazing time. You learned some new stuff, had some new comrades, maybe got in shape a little bit, exercise, and of course, first and foremost, read good books, okay? Or at least get some off your list, okay? Well, I'm here for the wrap up for Boot Camp Readathon. We had a whole lot of sprints with some amazing co-hosts, so that was a good time as well. Hopefully you got some stretching and some exercise on during that. So on to the bingo card. Now, as you know, this was a blackout bingo right here. I did indeed get a blackout. It was touch and go for a minute, okay? It was definitely touch and go, but I made it happen, okay? So let's go through these prompts, okay? There are 20 prompts. If I can, I'm going to go ahead and insert some pictures as I'm talking about these. So the first prompt is to visit a library, and I definitely visited my local library and got a card and checked out some books, okay? I also read a nonfiction. I read Give Her Credit. I picked up this book off of Amazon Prime, one of those first reads a while back. And it was really good. It was a nonfiction about Denver's first women's owned bank, For Us, By Us. And it was a good time. There's a lot of struggle and a lot of strife to get that off the ground floor. And you had some amazing women that put forth their time and energy and smarts in a time where sexism is completely rampant. Like, I was just utterly surprised that women's sex life were asked about at these banks, and that information still was not utilized to give them a loan. They were actually still denied. And about how women's income, even though some of these women earn more money than their men, their income was still discarded because they were considered a risk, especially during childbearing age. Just utter craziness, okay? And that happened in the 70s. That is not too long ago, okay? So just keep that in mind, y'all, when y'all opening up a bank account. But you know, we pulled it out there and we've been making things happen for a while, okay? Graphic comics. Okay, I read a few of those. So for this prompt, I got 4 books, okay? So we have Brooms. This is a very diverse, like very diverse disability, body size, race, just tons of different people in this particular book. Women of color, okay? It is a historical fantasy graphic about like these girls that are young women that are doing broom races for money because their society is basically trying to quell or control basically minorities that do magic, okay, and take it away from them. Very heartbreaking at sometimes. This actually reminds me a lot of Blood Debts. Blood Debts is basically where you have like this elite group or the government that is basically trying to control magic, which, you know, in general is harbored innately by the minorities. But it reminded me a lot of that. But really good book. I enjoyed this one. You also have pumpkin heads. This is so cute. Okay, this was a host pick as well by Chantel, and it was really cute. Pretty much you have Josiah and Deja who work at a pumpkin patch. This is like their last day there. I guess they're about to go off to college or whatnot, so they're reminiscing about, hi, this is our last time, we haven't done all these things. So Deja's on a quest with Josiah to go and find this girl of his dreams that he's never talked to or doesn't even know anything about, but they're running around the pumpkin patch experiencing all these things at the pumpkin patch while trying to find this girl. But really cute and very wholesome. I enjoyed that one. You also have Ramina. I don't know. This is manga. You know how that goes here. But this is manga. So this is Junji Ito, okay? And you already know it's weird, creepy, scary, gory. Pretty much you have this planet that comes out of nowhere that's just kind of sucking up the solar system. And it's named after this girl who's like the daughter of the scientist that discovers it. And people are just losing their shit that this planet is basically destroying places and looks like it's trying to destroy Earth. So they think that, hey, if we go and track down Ramina and her dad and kill them, then this planet will leave Earth alone. And you follow them trying to get at this girl. It's craziness, craziness. And last but not least, y'all, Heartstopper. I've been hearing so much about this book, and I finally picked up volume 1, and it is awesome. I really did enjoy it. Definitely going to continue the series. And it's a big thickums, y'all. It's a heavy book, but this book goes really, really quick, okay? The images are really nice. But it follows the journey of Charlie and Nick. They're at an old boys school, and you know, they become friends first and then slowly develops into a relationship as, you know, Nick is discovering his sexuality. But really cute story. Lives kind of in a cliffhanger, but you know, you got to finish the series. So hopefully the library comes through with all of that. So that is the graphic novels I read. As far as with LGBTQ rep, I read Model Home by River Solomon. Y'all, look at all that green, right? So this was pretty good. I've read a few books by River Solomon, and they never disappoint, okay? It's always something interesting and introspective about like our society as a whole and what's going on as far as with like race relations and identity issues and things like that. So you have this family who grew up in this house that is haunted, right? So the mom and dad, something happens to them. So the 3 kids, they're grown now, come back, and one brings their daughter. And I won't give it away, but basically they're all, you know, trying to discover the house and if it's really haunted, and there's some discoveries that's made, okay? I'll leave it at that. Very interesting story. There is also disability rep, actually a few disability reps in this book as well. But I enjoyed the story. It is definitely not a traditional haunted house. You know, it talks about some very serious issues in society like racism, elitism, colorism, sexism, identity, just this book has a lot going on, but I did enjoy it for sure. Definitely didn't end how I expected it to, but thoroughly enjoyed it. Try a new recipe. I tried some new salads this month. Very much enjoyed those. Next is BIPOC author. I will combine that with host fave. Now for the host fave, I read Minion, which is a book that was recommended by Lachette at Scarlet Moon Creations. So I read the sequel to that as well, which is The Awakening. So I'll use that for BIPOC author, but I actually have a few books in this readathon that were by BIPOC authors. But The Awakening and Minion is basically about a vampire huntress who is basically slaying vampires. And her crew, as they're, you know, musicians going around on tour, all this other stuff, they are coming across this new breed of like vampire slash demon, right? And so they're trying to figure out, where did this come from and how can we kill it and why is it so prevalent? And then there's this love story of some sort that comes through that just came out of nowhere, if you ask me, with this drug kingpin named Carlos, okay? Very interesting story. I think it reads kind of like a B movie, maybe even a C movie, okay? But it's an entertaining time. I didn't like the way the first book ended. I felt like it dragged me along and didn't really answer any questions and then left in a cliffhanger, right? So then I picked up the second book. It resolved one storyline, kind of lackluster if you ask me, but still left an open story about the romance and stuff. But apparently this is like I think like a 14-book series, and I feel like this book reads like you are going to read the entire series. So it drags the story out, just drags it out. I just felt like I kind of wasted my time, not gonna lie. But it was a good story. I just feel like you need to be invested to read the entire 14 book series in order to get the payout, and I just didn't feel like I was getting that, so I stopped at 2 books. Support 10 new booktubers new to you. Okay, so in the Discord throughout the entire month, we have been posting a lot of channels. So I'm going to link a few of those down below so you can go ahead and take a look at those. But there's some great content creators out there on BookTube. So I want you to go ahead and give yourself a pat on the back if you're watching this video. And also go ahead and subscribe to some of these channels below, okay? Drink 1 extra cup of water a day. Well, I probably went overboard with that, okay? But there's another cup there, okay? I believe in hydration. Meditate 5 minutes daily. Okay, I struggled with that one. I made it through. I was probably maybe at the halfway mark on that one, but I'm gonna count that one, okay? Meditation was there. Your girl falls asleep when I get relaxed, okay? I get tired. Read a book less than 100 pages. Okay, so I read a book called Train Bound to 40. It's about a woman, another BIPOC book, a woman who is turning 40. She loses her job, she loses her man, she decides to go on this trip solo that her and her man was gonna go on. And you know, she gets into this little magical town, discovers she has some magical abilities. We'll leave it at that. It's a fun time. Her friends join her. It's a cute story. I enjoyed it, and there adds in some romance in there too, but definitely worth checking out. A book over 450 pages. We're gonna go ahead with Broken Souls and Bones by L.J. Andrews. Okay, now I will say this is a beautiful book. I enjoyed this book just by looking at it alone. Very pretty. Little end pages, got the blue. And this is just the library version, so I can imagine what the other little versions like. But this one's cute. It's basically a romance fantasy. You have this woman who has this magic. She can kind of mend, break bones, pull out souls from bones and give it to other people and strengthen the person that's alive. Just very intricate magic system, right? So she is summoned by the king because he believes that anybody that harbors magic is at his disposal, even though it's, you know, basically kind of draining her. So the guard, who is basically supposed to be her her protector, her guard, he basically sees that, you know, what the king is doing is using and abusing her. He's kind of torn about what to do about it, because he's loyal to his kingdom, but also wants to be loyal to her. So anyway, it ends in a cliffhanger. You know, I knew that. I heard about it, you know, as I was reading the book. It's satisfying enough in how it ends for me. I enjoyed the story. I don't know if I enjoyed it enough to continue, which the next book is not out yet, but it's an enjoyable time. You got to enjoy the cover. Let's see. Then we have Spend Time Outside. I have done so much of that. So much of that. I thoroughly enjoy outside. I went to the beach, taking a lot of walks, you know. Enjoy it, enjoy it. Book with the blue and green on the cover. Okay, so does this have it? No, it don't. And this is definitely just green. Did I put some blue in there? No, that's just green. Anyway, so the book that I chose for that is Black Heart Man by Nalo Hopkinson. And that is basically a fantasy about this young man who wants to be of service to his kingdom. It's like an African-inspired kingdom. And he wants to be of service to this kingdom that is slowly being colonized by this group of people that come in. So while they're trying to somehow come to an agreement with these colonizers in order to prevent war from, you know, all out breaking out, there's this subplot line with this malevolent force that has to do with some gods and some witches. It's pretty interesting. It wasn't exactly what I thought it would be. I didn't understand all of the elements, especially with this sinister force. It has a lot to do with like the ancestors and things like that. There was also this like romance plot line as well that was kind of spicy at one point. You know, we got a little 3-3s going on, but interesting story, interesting concept. I just was lost in the sauce sometimes. And then you have buy yourself something new. Okay, I definitely did that. I bought myself this cute little pouch here. Gonna put some, I don't think I'm gonna put makeup. I think I'm gonna put like some things in my car in it. You know, all those little loose things that go around. Like I have like floss and lipstick and fingernail polish. All the things on the center console. I think I'll put some stuff in there. And I also got myself this cute little bathing suit here. That's really adorable. It has the little bottoms that goes with it too. And you know, your girl is, you know, I don't need everything hanging out. So it comes with a cute little skirt as well that comes with it. So I think this is adorable. I got a chance to wear it a few times and got loads and loads of compliments, okay? So I bought myself that. I also bought myself a lot of food during the month because I enjoy food shopping. Clothes, not so much. Let's see, create a 20-minute workout. Okay, I've done that a few times. Pretty much I do walk. I'm not gonna do a formal workout, but pretty much what I do is I take about a 30 to 40-minute walk. So over the 20. And while I'm doing that walk, what I do is about every block I stop and I do about 20 squats, okay? Sometimes I do leg lifts, but you know, that's the main thing that I like to do. Sometimes at home while I'm watching TV, I have these little weights. They're like 10 pounds. So I'll do like a little ab workout for 5-10 minutes or so and stretching, and then do some little weights while I'm watching TV. Very informal. Stretch daily. I've definitely done that. I think that is important. Indie self-pub author. Okay, so I read a book, one of those stuff you Kindle days, called Lusty Spirits. Lusty Spirits is a very short erotica novel where you have these ghost hunters that are, you know, on assignments, and you have these ghosts that create a very erotic situation for them, and they all partake, okay? It's a good time, okay? They all left with some smiles. Update Storygraph and Goodreads. Okay, I'm actually finishing that up as we speak, so that also got done. And for disability rep, okay, so we have model home. In here you have a, I don't want to give it away, it's kind of like a spoiler. Okay, there's a few, but I'm gonna say there's an ADHD dyslexia rep in here, so I'll say that one. There's another one too, okay? And that is my bingo board, y'all. All done, all done, all done. Good time, good time. I also have Amazing Readathon. I participated in that, and I hit 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 of the prompts. Okay, so not all of them. I was Pathfinder, so it's kind of like read at your own pace, okay? So I hit those up. And that is my month. That is a month for June, okay? It's been a busy month, okay? I need to hydrate on that one, okay? Anyway, let me know how your June went, how your readathon went. Ooh, hold up. Speaking of. So another thing I was supposed to do this month, and I failed at this. Luckily, this was not on the bingo board. This is my diamond painting I was supposed to complete. I believe, where was it? I believe I had, yeah, this part done at the beginning of the month. So the fact that I got the rest of this is pretty good, but it's definitely not done. It should go quickly, okay? I just have that, so. But that's good. It's a skull with some flowers. It's shaping along. Okay, let me get out of here, y'all. This video is much longer than most of my other videos, okay? Y'all have a great day. Thank you very much for participating in boot camp. I want to thank all my co-hosts. Thank you for all the people that participated. Y'all have been troopers. I appreciate it. So make sure you hydrate and get some out.